Coming up next on Tech News Today, Apple published its reality show about developers. IBM is working to foster new collar jobs. Amazon is lowering the price of Prime for people on government assistance. We go hands-on with some of the stuff from WWDC. Actually, Mike Murphy from Quartz had his time with the stuff, so he'll tell us about it. And a vending machine that will sell you likes and followers in Russia. All that and more coming up next on Tech News Today.
This is Twit. Bandwidth for Tech News Today is provided by CashFly at CACHEFLY.com.
This is Tech News Today, episode 1784, recorded Wednesday, June 7th, 2017.
This episode of Tech News Today is brought to you by Tracker, a coin-sized tracking device that pairs with your smartphone and keeps you from losing your most valued possessions. Visit thetracker.com right now and enter promo code TNT to save 20% on any Tracker package. And by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Home plays a big role in your life. That's why Quicken Loans created Rocket Mortgage. It lets you apply simply and understand the entire mortgage process fully so you can be confident that you're getting the right mortgage for you. Get started at rocketmortgage.com/TNT.
And by Oars and Alps, powerful skincare made for a guy's active lifestyle. Join thousands of men using Oars and Alps today. Go to oursandalps.com/twit to receive 15% off your first order.
Welcome to Tech News Today. This is a show where we talk about all the technology news you need to know. We get it all done today. I'm Megan Maroney.
I'm Jason Howell. We air that technology news laundry. We hang it to dry, and then we wait for it to dry, and then we hit it, and then we fold it.
Then we put it away in the drawer, or we make our kids put it away, depending on what kind of parent we are.
And then, there's more to do. There's always more to do, isn't there? There's always more tech news to fold.
Let's do it.
Apple's foray into original programming is now upon us. Now you too can head on over to planetoftheapps.com to watch the first episode for free. It's basically a reality show built with the Shark Tank model in mind. Developers bring their apps in front of a celebrity panel to gain their support as they pursue funding. The 50-minute episode is the first of 10 episodes being released by Apple to Apple Music subscribers. So I think the rest of the episodes are only, for paying Apple Music subscribers. Are you a subscriber?
I am a paying Apple Music subscriber.
So you could totally watch this whole series. You're so lucky.
I could watch it all, and I might. Okay, so I was like, I'm not going to watch it. And then, you pick this story. I was like, okay, well, I guess we got to talk about it. I guess I got to do my due diligence and watch it.
Yep.
And I was a little more taken in than I thought I was going to be, especially reading the reviews. Maureen Ryan from Variety called it a bleak, bland, tepid, barely competent knockoff of Shark Tank. Yeah, but I watched it, and the first guy, if you haven't seen Shark, you probably everyone knows this.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
I don't. Is it a spoiler?
Well, I don't know.
I don't say. I don't say who. I won't spoil it. But the first guy, his app we actually showed on iOS today. It's called Payer, and it's a AR app that helps you decorate your house, I guess. So it's interesting. It's like they did that typical, he was a veteran and he has 4 children. Like you think you're going to hear this inspiring story about how he took his experience, overseas in war and, made an app. And it's like, here's an app where you can help furnish your home. It's sort of like a little bit off there. And he kind of makes the claim that I guess this is a spoiler alert. He makes the claim that he is the only one that can do this AR technology, which, as I was shouting at my screen because now that I have been actually trying to put furniture in my home, everybody does this. Everybody lets you put it, look at the furniture and put it in your home. Not to say it's not cool, but Gary Vaynerchuk was the only person who called him on this. Everyone else was like, that is so amazing that you're the only person that can do augmented reality.
Yeah. So, you were surprisingly taken by the format?
Well, in that kind of way where you you kind of like things because it's the same reason you guys are probably shouting at me when I get things wrong. You're just like, la, la, la. It's fun to disagree with the person that you're watching.
To a certain degree, a show like this kind of speaks the language of people in tech, right? Like you get a lot of the buzzwords, the words that you're used to hearing VCs say when they're selling their product, and some of the topics. They give a little chyron down at the bottom that explains what those flashy words or mean essentially for people who don't understand, I guess, developer lingo or whatever. I don't know. I found it kind of cheesy, to be honest. There's a whole moving sidewalk part where when they're giving their initial pitch, they're standing on a moving sidewalk and it's moving them along while they're giving their pitch, and it's just like, it's just kind of, like that.
Well,
I was kind of rolling my eyes.
Instead of an elevator pitch, it's an escalator pitch. But the idea on an elevator is that the person that you're pitching is trapped and you have just this amount of time.
Yeah.
But everybody knows that you're not trapped inside an escalator. You could totally run away, up or down. You are not trapped. You don't have to listen.
I think it would have been really great. We were talking about this earlier. If they have the length of the escalator to complete their pitch and get someone on their team, and if they don't, they fall off the edge into a pit. And then by the end of the show, there's just like a pile of app developers down there, which is like the pile of lost dreams.
Mm-hmm. Or those, the ones that you see like the escalators to heaven or whatever, and then you just fall off the edge.
So why are we talking about it? Months ago when Apple was even talking about getting into the original content game, they've been teasing this all along. I've been curious, though kind of doubtful that I would really connect with the format, because I feel like, another reality game show format. But I don't know. It was okay. I certainly wouldn't sign up for Apple Music to watch more. I guess if it came with, I'd watch it if I was bored. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't that impressed, to be honest.
Well, IBM just announced that the company will expand partnerships with community colleges for what it calls new-collar jobs. These are the tech jobs that IBM says are well-paying despite not requiring a 4-year degree. The partnership will include internships, apprenticeships, and direct hiring from over a dozen community colleges in Missouri, West Virginia, Iowa, Colorado, New York, North Carolina, and Texas. IBM says the focus will be on areas that have been primarily underserved by the high-tech community. This was really interesting and exciting to me because I do think that we do need to look past Silicon Valley for jobs. And as we talked a lot about, automation and what's going to happen next. And I'd never heard this term. I think IBM made it up, the new collar jobs, meaning just someone that needs a skill, but, the university you went to, your degree doesn't mean as much as what you can actually do. So skills are more valuable than your credentials.
Yeah, and I think as we move further and further into this highly technological world that we continue down, and people grow up with exposure to this technology, not all jobs, like it's easy to kind of fall into the trap of thinking all of these jobs require this big degree in order to compete and be a part of it. That ends up leaving out a lot of people that maybe didn't have the capabilities, or maybe were in just in a scenario that made it very difficult to do that. Not all technical jobs require all of that. Some of them can be taught, like as an example of what the initiative does, a 5-week course actually ran this month, or is running this month, IBM interns from Northeast Iowa Community College, and they're covering OS platforms, visualization, coding, IT troubleshooting, doing education around this that could potentially give them jobs. You compare that to jobs that someone with a 4-year degree, different level, but still technical and still fills the need, and along the way makes IT a little bit more inclusive, a little bit more diverse. It definitely opens up kind of the pool of candidates and gives IBM an expanded talent pool as well.
Mm-hmm. They'll be working on curricula design for future IT careers, because that's the thing too. It's like whatever they're teaching now, is that the thing that is going to be needed 10 years from now. I think community colleges are amazing places. I think they deserve a lot more respect. I wish we would, just encourage more people to go to them. They're not as expensive, and they're just either a good start, or in this case, like a good way to go from, the 2-year college to a degree. It's hard because I think, 20 or 30 years ago, it wasn't as important to get a college degree. You know, you see a lot of people in the workforce, say like, I didn't go to college and I'm fine. And that's true. But my husband's a high school teacher. And what he says is like, absolutely, you can have a career without going to college, but it's a lot easier if you do.
Yeah, right.
So, if you want to take if you want to just, and that's not just necessarily a four-year college or not starting off right at a four-year college, but I think community colleges are great places, and I think this is amazing that IBM would be working so close with them.
Absolutely. Amazon is launching a low price tier of its Prime service for people enrolled in government assistance programs like food stamps, like receiving food stamps. If someone qualifies, it brings the monthly cost of Prime membership down from $10.99 per month to $5.99 per month. Depending on the sale price of items on Amazon, lower income households could potentially save money throughout the month, even with that monthly fee, because all the shipping would be included in that monthly fee. Could end up being a really good deal depending on what they choose to buy through the service and everything. In order to validate, it requires the person applying to have a valid EBT card. That's the electronic benefits transfer card. Though that card can't actually be used for purchases on Amazon, it would be used as a kind of like a one-time verification. And I don't know, it's kind of all about, I guess per Amazon, the majority of Prime subscribers, like 70% of Prime subscribers, make $112,000 per year or more. That's 70% of their Prime subscribers are, their household income is that amount. So this is a way to kind of open it up to a whole new market.
Yes, so Amazon would have you believe.
Oh, dun, dun, dun.
Well, I think this is great if it works for people, but it is a direct challenge to Walmart. That's what they're saying. Walmart, of course, bought Jet, and Jet was started by the guy who started diapers.com, which was bought by Amazon. They had this feud. So it seems a weird position to be like on Walmart's team because Amazon, Walmart, forced all the little guys out. And now Amazon is trying to force Walmart out. And because Walmart made $13 billion in sales from shoppers using the SNAP program. So they make a lot of money from people who are able to shop there because of benefits. An internet consultant told the Associated Press that people on assistance often don't have addresses that are conducive to getting packages shipped to them. So, whether they are homeless or they're in a place where it's not safe to leave, you're at work in the day and, your big box of Amazon goods doesn't, you can't get it delivered to your work and you can't get it delivered to your home. So practically speaking, I don't know if this works for most people as Amazon would
really
want you to believe. And, Walmart, for their part, they're trying to compete with Amazon. They're going to deliver. People can order online at Walmart, and then they're having Walmart employees deliver the packages on their way home. So it's like part of Walmart's, it's part of their job. And they've, you being able to use data to say, okay, this person lives here near this Walmart. We can just bring it, on the way home. So yeah, people need to buy things, and whether they're going to end up buying them from Amazon or Walmart. I agree that I think, Amazon Prime subscribers are of a higher income usually. And also because sometimes a lot of stuff you buy from Amazon is not cheaper. Like they're working very hard to get you to buy things, whether they're the cheapest or not.
Yeah, absolutely. And this isn't. It's a really interesting point that you make about like delivering the package. I hadn't even thought about that aspect, but that
came from an internet consultant that told the Associated Press. I didn't make that up, but.
Still fascinating. I missed that. But Amazon is also apparently working with the government on ways to let its customers use food stamps on the service, something that you can't actually do yet. And also, we talked, I think, a few weeks back about Amazon Cash, which is for people who are reluctant to use a credit card or maybe don't have a credit card where they can kind of fill up and use the service. So this in combination with some of the other efforts that they're doing really seems like Amazon is trying to open it up to be possible for more people to get in on their services. And more power to them.
Yeah, we got an email from someone, and I saved it. I save all the emails to use later, and this one I was going to read it at some point. We were talking about Uber's price discrimination. So charge more for people who can afford to pay more. And this viewer, who I apologize for not remembering her name, pointed out, that it'll be interesting to see because because we've been experiencing the other way around for a long time. And he specifically brought up, places like Costco where you have to pay a yearly membership to be part of that. To get into those cheap prices, you have to have enough money to buy the membership. And so then not only do some people of lower incomes not have enough money to pay that membership, they're forcing everyone else out, the places that might have lower prices, and the places where you might, be able to use a benefits transfer card and all those things. And so, so it already is unfair to a lot of people of lower income the way that we do this. So it will be interesting to see how price discrimination the other way works.
Absolutely.
Facebook says it will share anonymized disaster data with relief organizations. The company says the data will help communities recover and rebuild, but privacy experts are naturally wondering what else this location data might be used for. For the initiative, Facebook says they worked with UNICEF, the International Federation of the Red Cross, and Red Crescent Societies, the World Food Program, and other organizations. It's called Disaster Maps, and they use data from Safety Check, a tool launched in 2014 that allows Facebook users to check in to show friends and relatives that they are safe in the event of an emergency. So this was really fascinating, the way they're using this data. If you can suspend your fear of the fact that Facebook's tracking us no matter what they do is you check in when you're in a disaster. So they're taking the data of where people check in. So the idea is you are in a disaster, some kind of flood or something, an earthquake, and then you travel to a place and you're safe there. So they are using this data to figure out, where do the people check in? Where are they safe? And where did they come from? Like, where were they not safe? And it was, I think this is great. It also, once again, I just want to be aware that Facebook really knows everything about us.
Yeah, well, and especially if we're sending them signals like we're checking in or, around these events, it's basically taking information that people are already choosing to put onto Facebook in some way and making it informative to those who, humanitarian organizations who want to create better systems around providing support or want to know where people are when something's happening so that they can be faster to respond, more effective with their response. I think this is a good use of data. I mean, it's certainly something that can be very valuable to even saving lives potentially, as far as knowing how people travel in these scenarios. Where do they go and where do they check in and then say, I'm safe? That could inform these organizations to know what parts of the area are actually doing fine and what parts of the area they need to focus their efforts on.
So the data, none of your personal information is going to be shared. It's anonymized, the way we said. And it's good that Facebook does partner with all these organizations like UNICEF. So they really, they first said that they were going to give them individual data. And, what these organizations said is, we really want mass data. We want, big chunks of data. So it's good that they did ask, hey, what is what do you need? Because Facebook knows social networking and drones and puppy videos, but they probably don't know as much about disaster relief.
Yeah, absolutely. A new report from Akamai shares some bad news about U.S. broadband. Basically, that it's not as good as you might have expected. The State of the Internet report for Q1 2017 says that Americans experience an average of 10.7 megabits per second, coming in 32nd place out of 74 countries. Mind you, the global average is around 7.2 megabits per second, so it's slightly ahead of that average. But compared to the leader, the UK, it sits at 26 megabits per second as an average. We have a ways to go. But, however, on the flip side, the U.S. is first in North and South America, so USA or something. First time the U.S. Has appeared in the top 10, so it's number 10 in parts of the list anyways. 7.2 megabits per second is 15% faster than last year to the world, so the speed is improving. Everything's getting faster, I suppose. Okay. That's all I have.
That's all I have. A quick reminder that you can comment on anything we discuss by emailing tnt@twit.tv. And, of course, subscribe to the Tech News Today. Subscribe to our podcast by going to our show page at twit.tv/TNT. Our friend Mike Murphy from Quartz has been in our neck of the woods at WWDC. He tried some of the new Apple stuff, and he is here to tell us about it. But first, let's take a minute to thank Tracker, the sponsor of this episode. Life is supposed to be a journey of discovery, but how much of it do you waste trying to discover where you left your keys? Now you will never worry about losing your things again thanks to Tracker, a coin-sized tracking device that pairs up with your smartphone. All you have to do is place a Tracker device on whatever you tend to lose, your keys, your wallet, your bags, your pets. Use the Tracker app to find it in just a few seconds. You can track up to 10 devices at once just with your phone. You can even track and ring the same device from multiple phones and multiple Tracker accounts. You can customize two-way separation alerts so you're notified before you leave your item behind. And listen to this. If you lose your phone, you press the button on your Tracker device or just ask your Amazon Echo and your phone will ring even if it's on silent. If you need more help, the new Tracker Pixel comes with powerful LED lights so you can find your items in a flash. You know what I'm talking about. It's under the couch. It's under the couch, but you can't see it unless you have a little tiny flashlight that comes on the Tracker Pixel. It is also available in fun seasonal colors. With over 4.5 million devices shipped, Tracker has the largest crowd locate network in the world, so you'll be able to find your stuff even if it is miles away. You can try Tracker today. You can try right now. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's really no reason not to try it. Find what you've been missing. Go to thetracker.com and enter promo code TNT to save 20% on any Tracker package. That's TheTracker.com. Promo code TNT to save 20% on any Tracker package.
It's time to check in with Mike Murphy from Quartz, who has been living and breathing Apple over the past few days, thanks to the Worldwide Developers Conference. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, good to be here.
It's great to have you back. So you've been wandering the show floor, you've been at the events, you've been fiddling with the technology firsthand. We've all been watching on the sidelines. A solid few days of kind of soaking it all in. What's the one thing that you experienced that really left the biggest impression on you?
There were actually a few things that I was kind of surprised about. I think one of the things really was that Apple is getting serious about VR. Tim Cook has spoken before about AR and how that could be big for the future, especially after like Pokemon Go. But there'd never really been anything about Apple getting serious in VR. And the demo that everyone saw on stage from Industrial Light and Magic with Darth Vader walking around that planet, they had that in the hands-on area, and I tried it out. And honestly, it was great. They also had a few games that you can play now on the HTC Vive on Steam on like a Windows computer that they ported over to the Mac, and it was the same experience. It really worked, and it was running off of a MacBook connected up to an external GPU, and I was legitimately impressed. I think that could be a really big thing for them that they really had never talked about before. Like, with a lot of these things, there's always like rumors about what they're doing, and that one really came out of left field for me.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've been hearing little bits and drabs here and there around Apple potentially kind of taking VR more seriously, or even AR. Then you've got, AR Kit, which we talked about yesterday as kind of like a platform for developers to kind of develop around. So, I mean, do you think Apple branded glasses are right around the corner? Is that what we have next to see? Oh, wait a minute. I had no idea. Scoop.
They come with the AirPods attached at the end.
Yes.
Got it.
There has been talk and some things reported that they've definitely been working on glasses. I think it's a difficult form factor for a lot of people, and it's the same problem with the Apple Watch, in that, like, if you don't already wear a watch or you don't already wear glasses, it's going to be really hard to convince people to do that. Like for me, it's fine. I'm a big nerd and I wear a watch and I wear glasses. So I don't see a problem, but like, I don't know. I think it'll be difficult for Apple to find the form factor for AR, because it's definitely not a phone. Like walking around holding your phone up just looks dumb. And, you know, forcing people to wear glasses who've never worn glasses before probably isn't going to happen either. So I don't know. I mean, I think the technology is really useful in certain like areas, like in the office. I can see it being really useful. Like right now, if I was wearing glasses and this was just being projected in front of me instead of me having to stare at a Mac or something, that would be great. But walking down the street or, you know, hanging out on the subway, I don't know. I don't know if that would happen.
So the AR demo worked, you said, the same away from the show floor or the stage. Were there any other demos you saw that didn't work as well as they did on stage?
I think everything was pretty slick. The only thing that I thought was very interesting was the fact that obviously the big reveal was the new speaker, the terribly named HomePod, and they had two of them there, and they weren't making any noise. You couldn't activate Siri or anything. So I'm wondering if it was maybe too loud or something, so they didn't want to like have people go up to it and not work. But, you know, they said on stage multiple times about how awesome the speaker it was, and it wasn't playing any music. So that was a bit of a red flag for me.
So they didn't have any music actually channeling through these things when everybody had a chance to look at them. I know some people did get to hear it, but not in that environment.
No, I didn't hear it. Or if it was playing, I couldn't hear it. But no, I think they were. It was kind of weird, to be honest. They had, so in the like hands-on area, they had all of the kind of standard stuff. It literally looked like an Apple store laid out exactly the same. And then in the far corner, they had on one side the iMac Pro, which literally there was like a guy standing there so you wouldn't touch it. And then they had the two HomePods hanging out that were just like encased in tech reporters trying to tweet out a picture before anyone else. So I could see like, you know, that's why they didn't want to demo it, because it just like was never going to work that well in that kind of environment. But like, it was still kind of strange, I thought.
Yeah, everybody will get their chance at it in October, when I'm sure they'll have a follow-up on it that includes some sort of a hands-on ability for reporters who are there. You wrote about how Apple is kind of positioning the iPad to be its low-end laptop solution. How did you get to that point? Are they becoming really good at multitasking? Is it the keyboard attachments and some of the advancements in iOS 11 that allow for that? What do you think?
I think it really was what I saw with iOS 11 that really impressed me, and it was the first time that honestly I legitimately think that they've been pushing the iPad for a while as a kind of low end PC that like you could take to college. You know, it could be your kind of casual browsing thing, which is fine, but like you can't do any real work on it. But a few of the things that they've done with iOS 11, specifically the fact that you can actually access your folders and files. You don't have to like hope that things are in like your Photos app or hope that they're in, the Mail app. You can just find everything like you can on a computer. And the little dock, just like you have on a Mac, now pops up wherever you are, so you can access other apps. You can actually technically, I think, multitask with 3 apps now at once, so it really does sort of start to feel like you're on a computer. And when you switch between apps, it like blows out just like the expose on a Mac. You know, it really does feel like a lightweight laptop now, rather than this like giant iPhone. You know, there really are starting to diverge what the iPhone does from the iPad, I felt.
And how did it compare to the 9.7 inch and the 12 inch iPad Pros? How did that smaller size with like a smaller bezel compare?
Honestly, I didn't even notice at first. The bezel didn't really feel that much smaller to me, I guess. I first did a demo when I was in the hands-on area with the giant 12.91, which I always thought was kind of silly. Like I've seen people on the subway, you know, it looks like they're holding like a broadsheet newspaper, but it's an iPad. But I actually kind of really liked it with this new screen is way brighter, and I really like the new software. And it took me a minute to realize like, oh, this is giant. This is not the new one. So then I didn't really get that the bezels looked particularly different. There's a lot more screen real estate, but it really just felt like the iPhone 7 in terms of like proportions.
What about the Apple Pencil? I know that there were some improvements. We actually didn't talk about it earlier this week, but are those, I don't know, are those making it a little bit more meaningful from a multitasking perspective, kind of using this as that like bridge device?
I think so. One of the main criticisms, obviously, of the iPad Pro as a kind of computer replacement is that there's no mouse, and the pencil acts as a thing that you can literally point and click with as you would a mouse, which has always kind of been like a hackneyed answer. But in terms of using it as like a markup tool, or being able to, like, the big thing that I thought that I saw was the fact that, you get something from somebody that all you need to do is write your signature on. All you do is take a screenshot, put your pen on the screen, and you could write. Like, that's big. Then it really does feel like a tool where you can legitimately use it to write things and actually, at that point, replace your printer. Like, at that point, you don't have to print anything out, scan anything, scan it back in. I think that's big. And the other big thing was the fact that whatever notes you write with, when you're using the pencil and handwriting things are apparently searchable now. I didn't test that out, partially because my handwriting is so bad. Literally, my colleague who was looking at some of my notes today was like, I don't know what you wrote here. I'm going to have to wait to file the story till you get back. So I don't think it's going to work on that software. But if that does work for most people with normal handwriting, that's pretty awesome. You can search for what you've written with, just handwriting is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So did you get to talk to a lot of developers? I mean, I was curious about the feeling. Was there too much hardware? At first I thought, okay, well, they've clearly the developers can start developing for the HomePod. And I got a tweet from a developer who said there are no developer tools for the HomePod. And I said, well, what about SiriKit? Isn't that a developer tool for the HomePod? And they said you can't use it. So that was confusing to me because I thought Siri in the HomePod was going to work like Siri everywhere.
I think it's a legitimate concern. The problem, I guess, is that Apple only traditionally has so many outlets that, of their own volition. This isn't like, there's no reason for it. But like in the past, they've only really had a spring event, WWDC, and then an event in the fall to release products. They obviously didn't have enough ready in the spring. They did that little press release where they did a couple updates around the time of the red iPhone. So I feel like they kind of maybe wanted to show to people beyond just a group of developers, like, here we are still working on things. Here is some new stuff. I thought in the presentation they did a pretty good job of trying to tie pretty much, other than the speaker. The speaker just seemed, HomePod just seemed like, oh yeah, here's another thing. Like, that wasn't really related to their developer work, but like, I thought for the most part, they tried to tie in all of the new stuff, like the iMac Pro or the updates to most of the operating systems, to things that developers could actually do. They're like, oh, the developer beta of this is out today, or developer beta of that is out today. So there was a bit of that, like ARKit was an example of that. But I think there probably was more hardware than there has been in a while. I only spoke to a few developers who, when I was there on Monday, people were rushing around to go look in the shop or do whatever. And then, Tuesday morning was the chat with Michelle Obama, which didn't feel particularly developer-y to me. I mean, super interesting and cool that they got her. But, at a developers conference, I'm not entirely sure
where that fits in. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe she's working on an app. I don't know. She didn't talk about it if she is. You also wrote about the update to Safari. We talked about that a little bit a few days ago. That's going to block autoplay media to clean up the web. Did Apple have this on display at the event, or any of this functionality, or this is just kind of somewhere down the line? And do you think it's going to improve Safari's standings in the browser wars where it stands right now?
I'm assuming they probably would have had it on the Macs that were on display. I didn't check it out in person. I don't think. I wasn't going to pull up, Time or IB Times or one of these sites that does it a lot, and to see if they were going to get, block the videos. But, I think it, and this is what I said in my story, like, I do legitimately think that this is a good move for Apple in terms of like, it's frustrating for readers, to go on these sites and see these annoying things that's not why they're on that page. I didn't want to watch a video. I wanted to read a story. So in the same way that there was definitely pushback when Apple launched the reader function on Safari, so you could get just like the plain text of the story as opposed to the layout of whatever the website is. I think maybe there will be some pushback, but honestly, I really hope this will encourage a lot of sites to reconsider what they think is important. Obviously, video ads are more lucrative than and even when they're like autoplay, things like that, they're far more lucrative to the outlets than just a static ad is. But like, I don't know, in my opinion, and it's something Quartz doesn't do. I think we value the reader, and I think Apple is trying to do that with Safari, is kind of maybe force people to consider what's actually important.
This really seems to be the direction the browsers are going right now. Google's also doing this with Chrome. Sometime early next year, they're going to get really aggressive with bad ad blocking inside the Chrome browser. They're all moving in this direction. So ultimately, that'll probably end up being good for the users. It might require a little behavioral changes from the publishers who opt for ads like that. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think we'd all probably agree that's probably a pretty good thing. It improves the experience of the web. So good stuff. Exactly. Yeah. Any final thoughts about your time at the WWDC? Anything that was announced today, or anything you're looking forward to particularly?
I unfortunately haven't seen what was happening today, because I have been driving all over this beautiful state of California to get to San Francisco. But it was a really interesting experience. You really don't get the sense of how big it is and how many people are there when you're watching on a live stream. This was the first one I ever attended in person, and it was pretty interesting. And that's not something that, especially because it's a developers conference and you've actually got people that actually build for these products that are there. Like there was definitely like an air of excitement and an air of like people go there actually to learn things to make their products better, which was pretty cool, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the big point for developers especially. So Mike Murphy, Quartz, that's QZ.com, at MCWM on Twitter. Thank you so much, Mike. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the San Francisco burrito whenever you find it.
Thanks for having me.
Take
All
care.
right, have a good night.
After the break, if you want more Instagram likes, you can buy them from a Russian vending machine. We'll get to that in a minute, but first, let's take a second to thank Rocket Mortgage, the sponsor of this episode. The mortgage experience wasn't keeping up with the times. If you've gotten a mortgage recently, you know what I mean. The process was dated. It needed a client-focused technological revolution, and that's why Quicken Loans created Rocket Mortgage. Rocket Mortgage gives you the confidence you need when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. It's simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you're getting the right mortgage for you. It's convenient. Their trusted partners allow you to share your financial information with Rocket Mortgage at the touch of a button. And it's powerful. So whether you're looking to buy your first home or your 31st home, Rocket Mortgage is able to perform thousands of calculations in seconds. Based on your income, assets, and credit, Rocket Mortgage can analyze all of the home loan options for which you qualify and then find the right one for you. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/TNT. That's rocketmortgage.com/TNT. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS, consumeraccess.org, number 3030. And we thank Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans for their support of Tech News Today. The idea of buying likes or followers isn't new, but Louise Mitsakis from Motherboard recently came upon a photo of a vending machine in a mall that will sell you 100 likes for a mere 50 Russian rubles. That's 89 cents. Welcome to the show, Louise.
Hey, Megan, how are you?
Good, thanks for coming on. So where did you first hear about the likes vending machine?
So I saw that a Russian correspondent posted it on Twitter, and I was kind of like, oh, this is really crazy. I've written before about people buying likes online, but I've never seen anywhere where you could do it in real life. So I kind of looked into it, tried to figure out what was going on. I had someone translate it, And then today I actually heard from a Russian publication, and I heard from the people who make this machine. And I found out that, yeah, it's real. There are about 20 of them all over Russia, and they're expanding to a handful of other European countries.
So I saw the picture. It looks like you can buy Instagram likes. Can you, what are those other icons for?
So on the right, you'll see VK, which is a popular Russian social media site. You can also buy fake likes for that site, as well as followers on both Instagram and VK. And then the site also gives you the ability, the machine rather, also gives you the ability to print photos from your Instagram, which is, handy if you want to pass those out to your friends. That costs the same, about 50 rubles for 2 photos. And what kind of users I saw tweeting about this, like Russian users, said that you need to select 2 photos. I'm not sure why. But yeah, you have to buy likes for 2 at once.
And what do the terms of service for these social media networks say about buying likes and followers?
So usually the way that they work is that all of the likes and all the followers come from bot accounts, which are kind of mass controlled, and they're drones. They don't actually represent real people. So every major social network prohibits you from doing this. It's considered a form of spam. It's kind of like a cat and mouse game with these companies. Back in 2015, Instagram banned hundreds of thousands of fake accounts that were participating in this kind of behavior. Twitter has an ongoing fake problem. Earlier this year, Facebook released a report detailing a lot of the fake bots that they have on their social network, especially operating in political groups. So yeah, they really hate this. And I'm surprised Instagram hasn't said something about it yet. I'm sure they will, or I'm sure they're going to do something about it. My inclination is that the company behind these machines probably don't understand how seriously Instagram takes this. But it's also pretty small scale. Like, it's only 100 followers or 100 likes. That's not, that's chump change for Instagram.
Like, so, I mean, obviously against the terms of service, and they don't like it very much. What can these companies do? I mean, I guess they could go after the company itself, or do they target the vending machines themselves? Or like, where do you even begin with this sort of thing? I have to imagine, like you said, it's a cat and mouse game. So how difficult is it?
So this is a really odd circumstance because it's not like a website. It's like a physical object that costs, a lot of money to build and a lot of money to rent. So I'm curious to see about what Instagram's going to do here. It's my understanding in the past that they don't go after the companies themselves, but rather just the accounts. It's difficult to try and shut down dozens to hundreds of websites in hundreds of languages. It's easier to just mass ban, accounts that are participating in this behavior, and they have algorithms in place that are looking for this kind of suspicious behavior. So if you tried to purchase 10,000 followers in a day, it's likely that you'd set something off inside Instagram that might get you banned.
And then once those accounts are killed, are destroyed, essentially, all of those likes that you thought you had suddenly just up and disappear, vanish into thin air, or do they stick around and you can remember them?
And I think it's kind of a complicated structure you're going through. Like 2 Russian journalists who tried this out, and they contacted me and shared their article. They said it didn't work, or at least didn't work immediately. And then they went back to the vending machine company and they're like, oh, sorry, we'll work on it. So it's not really a foolproof system because these accounts are getting banned often. And, the janky automation software that they're using to carry this out, it's definitely not foolproof.
You said that this also might be just a way to get contacts to spam, that they're doing more than just giving you likes, but using your current real live followers and your email address to spam you.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. And I don't want to, accuse the company because it's not clear what would happen. I haven't tried the machine myself, but I have seen schemes in the past where it's it's the classic phrase follow for follow. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they're trying to build a network of these accounts. So if you buy some likes, maybe in the future, you'll find yourself liking some pictures that you didn't mean to like. I think that's one mechanism that they might be using to try and carry this out. But yeah, and they have some like sketchy stuff in their pitch deck. It looks like it's Google translated, so I'm not exactly sure what they mean in the English version of their pitch deck. The company that makes the machines. But yeah, it appears like there's some sort of automated marketing that happens when you use this machine. I definitely would not recommend anybody, any Russian watching this that's trying to get some extra likes. This is maybe make a better post instead of trying to buy some likes.
I don't know. It kind of sounds like a value add to me. you get some extra spam on the back end. Everybody wins.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. But yeah, it was definitely a strange find. I love the idea. It's like super interesting to see this coming into the real world. And I just love how blatant it is. We went to the mall and you bought some likes. I feel like traditionally it's been something that people, at least in the US, are a little bit more secretive about. I've heard of like ex-girlfriends, buying a bunch of likes for their selfie to make their boyfriend jealous or something. But that's not something necessarily discussed in the open. And I like the idea of just doing it at the mall.
Yeah, you get your ears pierced. You go get some likes on your Instagram photo.
That's why you're getting your ears pierced. Yeah, that's why you're getting your ears pierced or buying the sunglasses at the mall so you get more likes. This is cutting right to the
social
source.
Media 101, people.
It is. I mean, like you mentioned before, that their bots on Twitter and I'm assuming on Instagram are a huge problem because of the money that's changing hands on Instagram for sponsored posts, and on Twitter. I mean, we've heard horrible stories about these huge bots that might have, influenced the election or have the ability to turn on certain people. So, this is the lighter side of what is going on, which isn't always so light.
It just shows how easy it is to create this software, because I don't think that it was particularly difficult for, the developers behind this machine to do this. The machine's not, like the most sophisticated, piece of technology out there. As you can see it's like a pretty low res LCD screen. I'm not like that impressed by it. So it shows how easy it is to do this. I really wish it wasn't so touchy for me to ask them how they did it. I wonder if they bought a botnet somewhere on the deep web, or like if they bought if they made 50,000 fake Instagram accounts or something to carry this out, or if it's a situation where you then involuntarily like a bunch of other posts later on. But yeah, it's super funny. It's, a really fun story, and I'm glad that I spotted it.
So when you're not covering Russian vending machines, what's your beat at Motherboard?
So I actually just started a couple days ago after I was a contractor for about 8 months last year. I was working as an editorial fellow. So I think I'm going to be covering kind of like this kind of stuff, like the weird internet, how our identities are changing online, a little bit of cybersecurity. I'm also really interested in just the major tech companies like Apple, Google, Uber, any weird stuff going on there. The weirder the better, and I love social media bots. I love the automation of social media, especially because these companies really hate it. So it's fun to uncover kind of stuff.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Louise Matsakis did I get that right? Matsakis?
Yeah, you got it.
Is an assistant editor at Motherboard, and L Matsakis on Twitter. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good night, you guys.
You too.
Have a good night.
Bye.
All right, feedback time. Scott says, he wrote in about the new fast charging spec that we talked about last week. He says, faster charging is nice, but you know what's nicer? Removable batteries. These were the norm until the iPhone came out and Apple conditioned everyone to accept this anti-consumer thing as okay. With a removable battery, you could keep an inexpensive, fully charged spare battery with you, which is a lot smaller than a USB battery pack, and you don't have to look like an idiot at the club tethered to an external power pack. I thought I looked a little better than an idiot at the club, but point taken. Not only that, but you get more life out of your phone, since after 1 to 2 years, when the internal battery wears out, you could easily switch to a fresh one instead of buying a whole new phone. Yeah, fair enough. I've had plenty of phones that had swappable batteries, but only one, I'd say only one two. I've had 2 phones in my Android history where I actually bought a spare battery and had it. And I just kind of kept it always charged in my backpack. You don't use it all the time, but it's there when you need it. It's nice to just swap it back in and be done.
Right, especially if you're up in the club dancing.
Yeah, you just pull your battery Yeah, I'm not going to do it anymore. Coming up, quit it with a fidget spinner already. But first, let's take a minute to thank Oars and Alps, the sponsor of this episode. Oars and Alps right here. It's a box full of stuff that's good for your skin. GQ calls Oars and Alps a new essential for your daily routine. It's powerful skincare. It's made for guys, dehydrated skin, and active lifestyle. And they've got a couple of products here that are easy to tote along with you wherever you happen to be. This is the face cleansing stick. Doesn't look like much. You open it up. That's a spill-proof container, activated charcoal inside. It's the first men's solid face wash. It exfoliates the skin, pulls out impurities, smells really nice too. You put it on, splash some water, and you're good to go. You've also got the 2-in-1 hydrating and anti-aging face and eye cream here. I put that on, but then I'd have eye cream on my face and it would be a little distracting. So I'm not going to. I'm going to spare you that. But let me tell you, it smells nice and it feels nice. It makes your skin look good too. No nonsense, natural deodorant. Megan could attest, I smell wonderful today. Mm-hmm. Right, Megan? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Right, Burke?
I did not have to wear my mask at all.
All right, good. Thank you, Burke. I appreciate your honesty. With the deodorant from Oars and Alps, nourishes your skin, absorbs odor, which is the most important part. That's what you want out of a good deodorant. Everything's super portable. It's TSA approved, made with powerful and natural ingredients that offer intense hydration. Hydration's so intense, you're going to go, man, that's intense hydration. Products last up to 3 months. Oars and Alps products were developed by 2 women, Laura and Mia, for their husbands. They partnered with leading chemists and created Oars and Alps to protect their husband's skin from outdoor conditions, extreme conditions that often resulted in dry and cracked skin. Laura and Mia also set out to solve a common problem. It's one I've had before, spilled product in gym bags. All this stuff is perfectly sealable, so it's not going to do that. That's why they created the first solid face wash for men. That face wash isn't going anywhere because it's solid. It's awesome. Products are perfect to take on the go. So wherever your next adventure is, gym, work, travel, anywhere. And their name, by the way, I'm sure you can understand, inspired by some pretty awesome outdoor activities. Oars as in rowing, Alps as in skiing. But you can use this no matter where your adventures take you and what kind of sport you're into. Your skincare should keep up with your on-the-go lifestyle, and that's what it's all about. Plus, makes a great gift for Father's Day. Really great gift idea and very unique. So Oars and Alps is offering the Twit audience a fresh start to your day. You can join the thousands of guys using Oars and Alps, including me. Visit oursandalps.com/twit to receive 15% off your first order. That's Oars and Alps, OARSANDALPS.com/twit. And we thank Oars and Alps for their support. TNT's fan of the day is Rob Hill, return fan of the day, who shows us this picture, how it's totally possible to watch TNT from a Fallout Pip-Boy. There we are, on the wrist, where we belong. That's pretty nerdy.
That is.
I like it.
Is that photoshopped?
No, it's an actual device.
Oh, he made it. It's not the one that he got from they sold a very small amount of them, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's no information on whether he made it or got it. I mean, I did an image search on other Pip-Boys and it looked very similar to other ones other people have, so I have a feeling it's a commercial product of some sort. But
what did you think, Brian? Did you have an opinion?
Where do you stand on the Pip-Boy?
Where do I stand on the Pip-Boy? Well, it's from Fallout,
yeah.
Fallout 4.
Yes.
And looks like he took out the guts of it and put in an LCD screen. I don't know what other components he's using for it, but
okay.
That's probably how he's doing it.
Okay, now I understand. I mean, there's a little bit of shading on the display. Yeah, I guess it could be Photoshop, but if so, he got elaborate.
I don't think it's Photoshop.
Yeah, I don't think it's Photoshop. I think it looks pretty good.
I mean, that's a lot of detail right there if he did. But.
Yeah, hey, people go to great lengths for this segment.
Yeah. I know they sold them for a short time, and then they had a limited supply. Mm-hmm. Bleak put a Verge article in there that says it's the Bluetooth edition. So,
yeah. Okay. Well, hey. We're impressed no matter how you did this, and thanks for sending it in. Show us your Fallout Pip-Boy devices that I know you all have. You can show us how you watch or listen to TNT. Just record a video or take a picture of yourself or your setup. Post it on Instagram, Google+, Twitter, or Facebook, or even email it to us and use the hashtag HowIWatchTNT, and we'll find it.
You know those fidget spinner toys that were supposed to get us to stop fidgeting and maybe even stop turning to our phones so much? Now you can play with a fidget spinner on your phone or on the internet. You no longer have to spend $3 or $35 or $600 for an aluminum and brass toy for fidgeters. Now you can just go to fidgetspin.xyz and spin for free. It's better on a phone or a touch screen, but you can use your mouse to play too. Are you using your mouse right now?
It's really hard with the mouse.
But you're doing a good job. So here, I'll try it on my Surface, which had just popped right out of there. And there we go. Spins.
It's working for you, but it's not working on my Pixel. Look, I'm trying with my Pixel, and it like
just
stops.
Excuse us now.
This is us when we get a digital fidget spinner. We're like, oh, see, it
That's
just
all. Yours wasn't
You're
spin.
spinning it wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
No, I'm doing it right.
You're not doing it right.
Well, I'm doing it as right as you can. Here, you try. You've got the magic touch on your device. Try on mine. Megan, come on. Yeah, see? See, we're all doing it wrong, aren't we? Uh-huh. You got one spin.
What's wrong with this stupid?
Okay, it's the Pixel then.
Yeah, it must be. Whatever. Why do we need this?
Because it's a game. Because then you get new spinners when your max RPM and.
It's true. I was doing this in the office, show prep. It's called work. I was doing this for work, and I got up to almost 1,000. At 500, I got a new one, and then at 1,000, I get another one, and I'll just keep going and keep going because I don't have anything better to do or something.
Mm-hmm. That's weird that it doesn't work on the Pixel. That's maybe why they're not making any more Pixels.
Yeah, that's the one reason why they're not making any more Pixels. The fidgetspin.xyz didn't work on it.
Yeah.
Back to the drawing board. I blame them for not developing for the Pixel. With the Pixel in mind. And besides,
because somebody developed for Windows, so
yeah, I mean it's working. It's working there. We all have a fidget spinner, right?
But
we all have one, right, Brian?
I'm using the Chrome browser too.
I do. I made my own though. 3D printed. That's the way to do it.
Nerd. Nerd. Are you guys are going to be making one for Know How, right? Yeah. Oh, here it comes. Is this the one? Is this the fidget spinner that hurts if you hit the edge? Yeah. Okay.
You're supposed to kind of go like that to make it spin longer. Did you not know that?
Like this?
Do you even fidget spin, dude?
No.
So cool.
See? I can't stop. This is pretty nice. So you 3D printed this.
Yeah. Padre's design, and I've made a modification, but I'll be showing that this week on Know How. So.
Oh, okay. Are you guys going to create one on Know How?
Yeah. So that's Padre's custom design there, and you just have to buy the ball bearings and the little brace in the middle, and then you can 3D print it.
How much did the ball bearings and the brace cost?
I think like $6, and you buy them in bulk, and you get like 25 of them or something.
It feels so good, doesn't it?
They're so weird.
The gyroscopic effect is pretty cool.
Yeah. It is. Okay, well, we'll as we do the outro, we'll go ahead and fidget spin on the table, and we'll see if it's still spinning by the time we're done.
It's way better. The physical fidget spinner is way better.
Yeah, totally. TNT records live every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm going real fast because I think it's going to stop. 7 p.m. Eastern, 2300 UTC at twit.tv/live. You can be part of the show by emailing us, tnt@twit.tv. Leave us a short voicemail at 260-TNT-SHOW and hit us up on Twitter. We're at Tech News Today TV.
Share your thoughts on the fidget spinner or any of the other important news stories of the day that we discuss in the TNT subreddit at technewstoday.reddit.com. Find all the ways to subscribe to our show at twit.tv/TNT or wherever you get your podcasts. We're there. And if you want to tweet at me, I'm at Megan Maroney.
And I'm at Jason Howell. Thanks to our technical director, Brian Burnett, for bringing this fidget spinner. Thanks to Burke for staring at the fidget spinner. And thanks to Kevin for not covering this fidget spinner with B-roll. This fidget spinner deserves to be seen. And thanks to you for talking tech with us today. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye, everybody. It's It's still going.